Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking a pretty dramatic conceptual leap.
We really are.
We're diving into the world of artist-philosopher Kim S. MacKenzie. Specifically, we're looking at the book Homage to the Stars by Day and by Night, and a poem called The Genius Pond.
And this isn't, your typical deep dive. We're getting into a kind of unified theory of consciousness. The claims are bold.
How bold are we talking?
The central thesis is that human consciousness isn't just biological. It's fundamentally electrical.
Okay, electrical, I can sort of follow that. Brains use electrical signals.
Right, but here's the leap. That electrical consciousness, it's not generated by us. It's a reflected product of cosmic energy. And the source is specified, our local star, the sun.
Wow, okay, so my thoughts are sunlight, reflected.
In a manner of speaking, yes. And we're going to treat the poem, The Genius Pond, almost like a schematic, a blueprint that explains how this whole process works.
A journey from cosmic light all the way down to human creativity.
Exactly.
So we have to start there with that core idea. Consciousness is electrical. Why the sun? Why is it the epicenter of this cosmic genius?
Well, in this framework, the sun isn't just a big ball of hot gas. It's the primary transmitter of what's called cosmic genius.
Cosmic genius.
Think of the universe running on this incredibly powerful electrical current of intelligence. The sun is our local transformer. It steps that signal down so it's usable here on Earth.
So our minds are just receivers.
Precisely.
That completely flips the script on what intelligence is. We value original thought so much. But this is saying that maybe brilliance is just being a really good receiver, a clearer mirror for that external source.
It absolutely does. It takes genius from being this rare internal thing that some people just have, and it turns it into an external resource. It's a pond that's available to everyone.
And our ability to create or think is just based on how well we can tap into that pond.
How well our biological systems can reflect and process that electrical information. We're basically complex organic solar panels for knowledge.
Okay, so source, the sun, relaying cosmic genius. But how does that huge abstract electrical truth get to us? What's the conduit?
This is where the language of the poem gets really specific and beautiful. It starts with this idea of pure, whole light.
A universe contained of light expresses through the color white.
Exactly. That white light is the raw data. It's the undifferentiated state of all this universal genius.
Well, like any raw signal, it has to be broken down to be useful, right? So how does it get distributed?
It's distributed through the spectrum. The poem says, where genius-flowing atmospheres spill forth through rainbow spectrum tiers.
So the rainbow is literally the distribution mechanism.
It's the visible conduit. The genius doesn't hit us as a blast of white light. It's channeled and differentiated across the color bands.
And it's not static. The poem describes it as having oscillating rhythmic hues spanning tangerines to blues.
That's the crucial part. This is where art and physics seem to merge in the text. Because that flow, that energy, isn't chaos. It's deeply structured.
And how is it structured?
Mathematically. This may be the most important line. That circumference, the natural world, a mix of algebraic whorls.
Algebraic whorls. Let's pause on that. That phrase is incredible. What does that actually mean?
I mean, it's not just a poetic metaphor. It suggests the genius itself is a structured algorithm.
An algorithm.
The ultimate set of equations that governs everything. You look at a spiral galaxy or the Fibonacci sequence in a sunflower. Those aren't accidents. MacKenzie is proposing they are physical manifestations of these underlying algebraic whorls.
So the beauty we see in nature is just the visible output of cosmic math being relayed to us by the sun.
And that means creativity isn't this messy, chaotic process. It's a human attempt to express or capture a piece of that perfect underlying math.
It's an act of translation, not creation.
In a way, yes. And that organization is key. It's what gives this electrical consciousness a built-in architecture. It's why truth and beauty and physics might all be the same thing at their core.
Okay, so if the genius is this structured mathematical light, let's talk more about the delivery system, the cosmic relay. We have the local transmitter, the sun. We have the conduit, the spectrum. But who's sending the signal in the first place?
Right, the signal has to be processed for Earth. The poem's really direct about this. Refracting, absorbing the law from heaven's dome onto Earth's floor.
Refracting, that's a physics term. Light bending as it passes through a medium.
And the medium here would be our atmosphere, our magnetosphere. They act as a lens or maybe a decoder, processing this complex algebraic law to make it intelligible for life here.
So it's like stepping down cosmic voltage into something our little biological houses can use.
Perfect analogy. And the poem maintains this clear chain of command. It distinguishes the ultimate source from the local guy.
And the ultimate source is?
It's vast. The line is from galaxies that rule afar. So these massive, distant structures, they set the fundamental law, the master code.
They write the software.
They write the software. But the sun is the critical link for us. The poem is explicit. It's all relayed through our local star.
So you have this massive funnel. The galaxies create the law, the sun broadcasts it locally, and Earth's atmosphere decodes it so we can absorb it.
Exactly. It's a meticulously managed information system, which has huge implications for our place in all this. We aren't a random accident.
We're part of the system. We're meant to receive this information.
And if that information is fundamentally mathematical, then doing science or making art is really just tapping into that broadcast more and more effectively.
Which brings us to the payoff, right? The actual impact on humanity. What is the goal of all this?
The source suggests it's twofold. First, to gain deep philosophical insight, and second, to produce tangible creative work.
Okay, let's start with the insight part.
The genius is meant to help us understand the why of things, what the poem calls the causal mind. It says the energy is inspiring prophets through all times to understand the causal mind.
So a prophet or a visionary? They're just someone with a really well-tuned antenna.
Their mind is just reflecting the sun's algebraic broadcast with high fidelity. It's not magic, it's peak electrical competence.
I like that phrase, electrical competence.
And that input then shows up in two ways. First, in the very structure of reality itself.
This is where it talks about the true magnificence and grand atomic competence of the world. What is atomic competence? That's such a strange and specific phrase.
It's a remarkable idea, isn't it? If the universe runs on these genius-level algebraic laws, then its basic components, the atoms, have to work flawlessly.
They have to be competent.
They have to be. They never misfire. They follow the rules perfectly. That atomic competence is what guarantees that physical reality is stable and ordered. It's the physical proof of the mathematical genius.
So the universe works because its energy source is, for lack of a better word, perfect.
And that perfection, that competence, doesn't just stay at the atomic level. It bubbles up.
Into us.
Into us. It culminates in human culture. The genius is described as pulsating to creative hearts, responsible for higher art.
So there's a direct, unbroken line from a mathematical law in a distant galaxy through the sun into our atmosphere, into a creative heart, and out comes a symphony.
A symphony, a painting, a theorem, they're all just the highest expressions we've found so far for this cosmic law.
So when we look at, I don't know, Einstein's theory of relativity or a masterpiece by Da Vinci, this framework says that's not a person struggling in isolation.
It's a person who, for that moment, achieved an incredibly clear reflection of an external, constantly available algebraic current.
It takes away some of the romance of the lone genius, but it replaces it with this profound connection to everything.
Exactly. Creativity becomes an act of translation. The genius is out there for everyone, but it needs the human creative heart to process that electricity and turn it into something we can recognize as higher art.
Which really leads us to the final and maybe the most challenging question here. We've gone from starlight to art all through this structure of algebraic whorls. It's a beautiful system.
It is.
But if our consciousness is just a reflection of this perfect mathematical competence signal, where does free will fit in?
That is the question, isn't it? If the universe runs on a flawless algorithm, and we are just reflecting it, is any great work of art truly a surprise? Is it all in some way inevitable?
Is human creativity just cosmic computation?
Or is our apparent free will, our choices, our mistakes, are they just part of a much larger equation that we can't see yet?
It makes you wonder. It definitely removes the mystery of genius, but it sort of deepens the mystery of mathematical necessity.
The genius is the objective structure. We are the subjective lens. And the goal of life, maybe, is just to clean our lens to get a clearer picture.
It's a compelling and deeply provocative way to look at the world. The idea that your own consciousness is starlight, filtered through math. So for you, the listener, maybe as you go about your day, think about that. When you see something beautiful, ask yourself if you're seeing a random occurrence or if you're seeing a reflection of the genius pond. It's a thought that could definitely stick with you.
It certainly could.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.